Hello and welcome to the Life Sketches channel. Today I'm going to confess to you about a situation I'm still in. My name is Olivia. I'm 29 years old. I'm a sexy brunette woman with a curvy figure. Today I'm going to talk about the chain of twisted relationships in our family. After this story, I'm going to tell you, please give me advice without judging me. I need it so much. Share your comments and give me ideas to get out of this complicated situation I'm going through. Who knows, many people who listen to my story will see me as disgusting. But love can't be in one's hands, unfortunately. My sister Charlotte, a 34-year-old brunette beauty whose beauty I have always admired, had been married for about a year. My husband and I lived close to their house, and in the early days of the marriage, we loved going back and forth to each other. That's when it all happened. I realized that I was incredibly in love with my sister's husband, Noah. Every time I saw Noah, I was filled with excitement. My desire for him was unbelievably strong. I was always dreaming about him and being with my husband. I felt bad about it, but I realized that he was not empty for me either. One day when we confessed this to each other, my sister and I were in the 6th month of our marriage. My marriage had been over 5 years. Even though my sister was older than me, she got married too late. While Noah had no remorse about the fact that we were in love with each other, I had no remorse at all. I was officially in love with my brother-in-law. I don't know how anyone could accept this situation, but at the same time, I desired him and blamed myself for betraying my sister. One day, I was sitting at home when my sister called and invited us to dinner. I called my husband, Aiden, and told him about the invitation, which he gladly accepted. In the evening, to make Noah like me, I wore a white see-through shirt with a nice cleavage, a sexy and very short miniskirt underneath, and black lace stockings underneath. I wore my hair in waves, put on red lipstick just the way he liked it, and put on my best perfume. Even though I didn't like the situation I was in, I wanted to look nice for Noah. Aiden noticed that I was wearing a sexy outfit with nice makeup. "You're dressed so nicely," he commented. "Do you really need that much?" he asked. I was really angry about that. For a moment, I wanted to say, "What do you care?" But I thought I shouldn't say anything, otherwise he might suspect something. We left the house and headed to my sister's house. Even though I was dressed so sexily, my husband never for a moment looked at me with eyes of desire. Everyone else on the road would turn around and stare at me, but he never looked at me, and it made me even more angry. Anyway, when we got to my sister's house, Noah was the one who answered the door. Aiden wasn't there because he was downstairs parking the car. Noah opened the door and winked at me, oblivious to my sister behind him. I coughed a few times to make him realize that, and he quickly pulled himself together, and he and my sister said, "Welcome home." When I came in, my sister said, "I have some work to do in the kitchen," and went over there. The clumsy Aiden must have still been parking the car. It was just me and Noah in the room, and he was checking me out. I was annoyed with my husband, and I sat across from the man who wanted me. I enjoyed the way he looked at me from head to toe, especially admiring the clothes I was wearing for him. I had hiked up my skirt when no one was around, and I was doing my best to make him examine me better and to drive him even more crazy. He and I were exchanging glances around the room. "How are you? Are you okay?" And then he came a little closer to me and said, "I can't take it anymore, Olivia. I want you. I want to be with you." And he put his hands under my skirt. I was speechless. By this time, we liked each other, but yes, I wanted him, and I liked it when he wanted me. I felt pleasure and guilt at the same time, but we had never had anything sexual. I pushed his hand away and opened my eyes and asked him how such a thing could happen. He acted like everything was normal. He looked like he was about to attack me. It was obvious he wanted me badly. In fact, I wanted him. Was it really normal? After he insisted a few more times, I decided that I wanted it too. "Where will it be?" I asked him out of the blue. He was clearly surprised. "I don't know where it could be," I said, and Aiden walked in with a stupid grin on his face. "Noah," he said as I hugged him, "I missed you." I just put my head down. When I went to help my sister in the kitchen, I saw that she was doing a lot of things. I asked her, "Sis, why did you go to so much trouble?" I felt so guilty when she said, "What trouble, sis? If I won't do it for you, who will I do it for?" I was completely out of my mind. My hormones had taken over my brain. When we set the table, I sat directly across from Noah. Throughout the meal, Noah was under the table with his toes in my skirt, pleasuring me with his fingers. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I was sweating profusely at the table because I was madly in love with him. I was terrified that my husband and sister would notice. Noah kept giving me flirtatious looks as I tried to focus on my food. He didn't seem to be afraid of getting caught, but I thought it was the other way around. Aiden, my husband, was really tough. If he found out about this, he would kill whoever it was. Besides, he was very loyal to me and he wanted me to be loyal to him. He never took me out alone once in this long marriage, and he was always picking on me. After dinner, we didn't have a nice coffee conversation. I was still thinking about what Noah had said, the pleasure he had given me at the table, and my love and desire for him. Should we have done this? It was obviously wrong, but I really wanted him. Laugh a little, my sister scolded me playfully. What the hell, sister? I'm just thinking about where your husband and I can be together, I thought to myself. How disgusting it was. I wanted him so badly that I couldn't help but have no idea what to do. I thought that everything that was going to happen was going to happen. I decided that I shouldn't be so hard on myself, so I joined in the conversation. Every now and then, Noah and I would lock eyes, and he kept looking me up and down, occasionally touching me and making me shiver inside. At about 11:15 p.m., my husband said, "Let's go now." It was really late, and it would be good to go home. Otherwise, I was going to be with Noah right then and there, without my sister or husband. After saying goodbye to everyone briefly, we went home. I went straight to bed, and my husband did the same as me, but in a different way. He kept trying to get close to me, but I kept telling him I didn't want to, especially nowadays, because I really didn't want to go through that with him. I didn't want to be with my husband when I wanted Noah. But tonight, Noah had turned me on so much that I said, okay, and I was with my husband imagining Noah. It was like his lips were Noah's lips. The hands on my buttocks were Noah's. I was giving my body to Noah, not to my husband. It was disgusting, but I didn't want the man who would be my husband. I wanted my sister's husband. Anyway, he finished his work, turned around, and went to bed. I stayed up all night thinking about Noah. I closed my eyes. I didn't even want to see my husband's face. As soon as morning came, I made breakfast for my husband and sent him out of the house. While I was watching TV, my hand kept going to the phone. It was hard not to call Noah and say, "Come." But why was I doing that? If it was meant to happen anyway, it would happen somehow, somewhere, even if it wasn't right now. I picked up the phone, trying to silence my guilty conscience, and when I heard Noah's voice, I felt a sense of peace. He was happy to hear from me, and I got straight to the point. I told him the house was empty and he was at work. Despite this, he was very happy and said he could get permission from the boss. When he hung up the phone, I was so excited we were going to spend time alone together. It was going to be the first time, and I can't describe the desire inside me. I turned off the TV, grabbed my red lace garters from the closet, put on a mini see-through dress, put on my best fragrances, did my hair and makeup with the same excitement as when I was a bride. I was completely ready for Noah and started waiting for him. When the doorbell rang, I opened it immediately because he said in his message that he was outside the door. When I opened the outer door, he saw me like that. I was dressed like that to make him overly impressed. "You were ready yesterday," he said as he closed the door. I looked at him with my hard gaze and said, "Yes, I'm ready. I want you. I want you with every fiber of my being," I said. Just then, he grabbed me by the hair and pulled me to him. He grabbed my lips and started kissing me. Then he peeled off my dress and gave me moments of pleasure beyond my wildest dreams. He made every moment unforgettable with the touch of his hands and kisses. For 2 hours, he brought me to the peak of happiness all over the house. As we collapsed exhausted on the kitchen floor, I realized that all the curtains in the house were open, and Noah noticed it too. "God damn it," he muttered. "Did anyone see us?" he said. I said, "There's nothing to do. I don't think anyone saw us." And I threw his clothes at him. "Get out of here," I said. He smiled flirtatiously and started to get dressed and soon left the house. I tidied up the house before my husband arrived, as if nothing had happened. I cleaned up, put on my previous clothes, and sat in front of the TV. I kept thinking that the window was open and that someone had seen us. I hoped nothing like that had happened. When my wife came home from work that night, she was on fire. I'd never seen him like that in my life. "What's going on, Aiden?" I yelled at him. That's when he pulled his phone out of his pocket and pulled up a video. It was a video of Noah and me making love. No one else but the cranky old next-door neighbor could have done this. Now I was finished. Things I never expected were happening. Aiden was sitting on the edge of the couch, sobbing. He wasn't yelling at me or even angry. Seeing him like that made me realize even more how disgusting what I had done was. As I was thinking about it, she was crying, "I did such a disgusting thing, but why did you do it?" "I don't understand. What do you mean?" I was waiting for an explanation when he shouted, "I had sex with your sister too!" I was shocked. "I've been with her too." And I started to cry. What kind of a situation was this? How was God testing us? After an hour or two of this, I asked, "What's going to happen to us?" Aiden said, "We can't do anything. If everyone continues to be with the person they love, we can't explain it to our family," Aiden said. And he was right. I loved Noah, my sister's husband, and he loved my sister. There was no way we could explain this to anyone. A few days passed. At their house, everyone told each other everything. Something had happened between my sister and my husband, Aiden, just as something had happened between me and Noah when we traveled back and forth a lot. Nobody knew what to do. It was really one of the hardest situations in the world. Months passed, but everything was the same. I was secretly spending time with Noah, and my husband was secretly spending time with my sister. Everyone was aware, but no one said anything. What we were most afraid of was what would happen if our parents found out. In the face of the situation that was still going on, my life was somehow moving forward. Life goes on despite the most disgusting memories. I hope no one else has to go through something like this, because the feelings I'm going through cannot even be translated. I guess my life would continue with secretly loving Noah, and Aiden would secretly love my sister. How do we get out of this? What do we tell our parents? This twisted relationship is exhausting us. Please give me some advice. What should we do? I am so relieved with this confession. I really hope that your ideas will help me. Thank you very much for listening to my story. Feel free to send your stories like this to the channel and make confessions like me. It made me very comfortable to make this confession. Thank you for listening to my story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourselves.